Hey, folks, thank you very much for joining. This is Grandison Shines, Chief Marketing Officer here at Direct Business Marketing. And on the Blab with me today, I have Mr. Andrew Hoagland. There he is, the CTO of the organization, and Dustin Fickbaum right down there, the COO of the organization. Today, we're going to be talking about traffic generation. We know there's a lot of information out there on the web about traffic. Now, we're going to do a very, very high level topic talk, I should say, about traffic generation. We kind of hinged on why traffic is important. And we have that conversation with our clients sometimes. Okay, so why is traffic important? So of all the mediums that are out there today, when you look at a website, it's like having a business card. So let me ask the direct question, why is traffic actually important to a website for that purpose? I mean, if no one can see who's converting or whatever, so why is the actual traffic really that important?
Well, I mean, that's just the fundamental of converting somebody. It is the genesis of a conversion. I mean, if you don't get an eyeball on your site, nothing's going to happen. So it is the very first thing, and that's where the stumbling block comes in. Because it's the first thing in the process, we find companies put, so much importance on it. They're measuring that all the time. How many people came to my site today? They're really putting a weight on that traffic number, and because it is the first step, it's crucial. It's a crucial first step in generating leads or generating sales online. But it's also, a step that, if you only focus on that number, you can miss the whole thing.
Right.
Dustin, you want to add to that?
Well, there are some that would argue that traffic numbers are relevant because of the data that is being collected by Google or a Bing or other search engines, and there's some relevancy to that. I'm sure they have some metrics by which traffic is measured, and they take that into account when they're providing search results for people using their search engines. So there's some relevance there, but much like Drew said, it's so early. It's such an early part of your business, your sales process, that if you're only measuring that, you're really missing the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with traffic, a lot of times there's a content when they're driven to a landing page or website. So how important is the content for driving traffic?
Well, we have said this before, and we're not the first people to say it. Content is king. And when I say that, we're talking about what are you providing to the visitor of your website. Typically, that's one of the things that we discuss. Are you providing relevant information to the people visiting your website so they come there and they find some value in your website and what you're offering? Content on your website positions you as an expert, which is you want to be viewed as the expert in whatever your field is, whether you're selling widgets or you're in real estate or you're a plumber or a painter or a mortgage broker. You want to position yourself as the expert. So the content on your website can do that. The other side of that coin is that content is what Google and Bing and all the search engines are looking for. You want web traffic? Give the search engines content to display to their people using the search engine. If you got no content on your website, there's nothing for Google to say, hey, go to this website. They have good content. Content is king.
Well, so you mentioned relevant content. Elaborate a little bit more on that, Drew.
That was just what I was going to talk about. It's the content that ensures what we talked about: good traffic, bad traffic. It's the content of that page, your site, that ensures that you get the right traffic. I was just talking to a client a few weeks ago where they were looking at their site and, hey, why don't we show up for this phrase? Well, in their content plan, it wasn't a phrase that was discussed. It was a phrase that they came up with later, so that phrase doesn't appear anywhere on the site. Well, you got to make sure that in order to get the right traffic, you have to have the right content. It's like, fishing. You have to fish with the right bait. So that the content is the
Good analogy.
is the bait to get the right fish to come to your site. And it's not just, content has evolved from just straight text to all of the pieces of your site. The straight text pieces, are bait for search engines, but you have to have that multimedia. You have to have pictures and videos and all the things to, once a visitor comes, that allows them to stay.
Yeah, someone mentioned just putting good content on your website won't get you traffic, right? Is that correct, or do you agree with that?
Well, I mean that's true, because there's a lot of cogs in the machine to get traffic to your site. It's one of those things like we talked about. If you focus solely on how many visitors you have, you might miss the whole picture. If you solely focus on blogging, like I'm just going to blog like a crazy person and don't do any backlinking, or don't do any social, or don't do any of the other pay-per-click, don't do any other pieces, then you're missing the boat. You have to have a holistic approach to it.
We're going to be hosting a special webinar called The Best Traffic and Lead Generation Techniques for Your Business. Now, on this webinar, we're going to be sharing practical web strategies you can take back right after the webinar and start utilizing right away to drive more traffic to your website. See, marketing is changing at a rapid pace, and in order to keep up with the times, constant changes to your online and offline marketing strategy, your online and offline marketing plan is absolutely 100% essential. So, what are we going to learn during this webinar? First of all, we're going to talk about the 5 top sources to drive traffic to your website, especially in this ever-changing marketing environment. We're going to talk about how to get local leads that are searching for your service or your product, but don't know that your business is right there in their backyard. We're going to talk about how to make your website work for you, even if you're just getting started with a new website. We're going to talk about the best ways to make your website work for you in today's tough marketing environment, and we're going to finally talk about why a marketing funnel is essential for online lead generation success, plus more great information when you attend. Now, who should attend this webinar? Any business, that's right, any business that finds value in website traffic, especially if you're good at converting, in order to sell more of your products or services. So this webinar, again, the best traffic and lead generation techniques for your business, is going to take place on Thursday, May 26th. At 10 a.m. Pacific time. Here's all you have to do now is reserve your spot in order to attend the webinar. Thank you very much, and I'll be talking to you then.